Hello, everyone, and welcome to the lucky 13th episode of the Faith Forward podcast. We hope you had a very happy Easter. Today's guest is a freshman from Sacred Heart University majoring in English. Originally from Bridgeport, Connecticut, he did musical theater for 4 years during high school. He played baseball growing up and roots for the Mets. He also loves nature and going on hikes all the time. Next year, he is joining the peer ministry team here on campus. Cayden Santa, thank you so much for being on the show.
Well, thank you for having me.
I said this before we went on. I think you're our very first freshman guest on this show.
And I'm so honored.
Wear that with a badge of honor because,
thank you.
You should feel honored.
Thank you, Alex.
I'm kidding. Yeah, Alex is great. Okay, so our first question here is, what was your faith like growing up?
So my faith was, I was very engaged in my faith growing up. So my mom, my dad, people of faith. I was always in a church. I was baptized in the Catholic Church, like from a very young age. And, all throughout like my younger years, my mom is a musician. So she used to put me, my brother and my sister, like singing in front of a lot of people in front of the church. And through those experiences, I got closer to my faith, like especially through music. Growing up, I was I was practicing Catholic. I went to Catholic school. I went to St. Anne's in Bridgeport. Then I went to Notre Dame High School. So I would say, growing up, I was very engaged with my faith. I didn't really understand it at first, but I just did it. And I did feel the graces flowing even at a young age. So that's kind of how it was.
It's very interesting you say we're involved in music because Christian music, I feel like, is a very big genre now.
Yeah.
And, it's something that a lot of people enjoy. Did you feel that you could understand deeper the faith through the music or connect with it deeper? Because I hear the music in, church and also on the radio now. People, they play it on the radio. And I understand it. Did that have any impact on you?
I mean, yeah. I would say yeah because when I was singing it, a lot of it was in Spanish because I am Spanish and I go to Spanish masses. But I did understand like what I was singing. A lot of it it's pretty straightforward. A lot of the Catholic hymns that we sing nowadays are pretty straightforward. But I think like just reading those lyrics that were on those music pages, like they really spoke to me, and I really feel like that really did make me get closer to my faith. So.
That's amazing. And, sometimes with these songs, like you just sing them and you hear them, but you're not really understanding what you're listening to. I know that's something for me, but it's good that you can understand it. And you said you went to Notre Dame High School, which is the prep school for Sacred Heart.
Yes.
Did you choose Sacred Heart because it was right here and it's a Catholic school and all that?
Well, when you get 50% off.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of...
It's a pretty good deal.
It's a pretty good deal. You can't really pass. So, definitely, being part of Notre Dame Prep and also being part of musical theater, we used the Edgerton Center for our musicals. So I was always around the campus. And for our masses, we would go to the Chapel of the Holy Spirit and go there. And I used to sing there and I just being on the campus, I felt like I was already a student and I had that home field advantage going to ND. So I feel like, it definitely was a big deciding factor. Obviously the financial aid was amazing,
right.
But I feel like also just that being so close to home and the familiarity, that was really the deciding factor overall.
Oh, that's so nice. I'm glad you were able to kind of continue on this Sacred Heart track. So you said you love nature and hiking. How do you connect your faith with nature and being outside?
So this is I'm so glad I wrote that in the bio because I recently went on a hike or a mini walk and the Laudato Si on West Campus.
Okay.
The little trail.
Yeah.
And I was walking before class one day. I got to Sacred Heart early, and when I was walking, I encountered 4 deer. And then
Really?
I was literally in a staring match with one of the deer for probably 5 minutes.
Wow.
And I was just me looking at the deer. I've always been a big fan of deer because growing up, when you're driving or your parents are driving and then you're in the back seat and then you're looking out into the woods and then you might just see a deer or a turkey. I was always a deer. And then my parents would get startled and I just had to say stop because I just love deer. But that moment, with nature is just so beautiful. And then when I was walking around West, I saw a turkey. So that moment, pretty recently, it was a week ago, that reminds me of why I love hiking. And it does bring me closer to God because when I'm so I give credit to my dad because he took me and my family on hikes a lot. And through hiking, it just really allows you to slow down and really reflect on your life because although I don't live in New York City or anything like that, there's so many buildings sometimes I feel and I don't really get out in nature. And when I walk, it really allows me to slow down, think about where I am in my spiritual life, think about what I need to do better, how am I failing God, how am I, making God happy. Just all those things, like, I really feel like happen when I'm like hiking or I'm just going on trails and stuff.
That's so true. And I feel the same way, like when I get outside. And I feel like our lives are very cluttered and busy, and so are our surroundings, our environments. And, being in Connecticut, there's a lot of trails, a lot of trees. It's like the Merritt is beautiful. Yeah. I'm from Long Island, so, it's a lot of neighborhoods and a lot of, not as much open space, but, Connecticut is very beautiful. I also think we used to have a house in upstate New York.
Oh, nice.
And it was wide open. It was beautiful. And just being surrounded by, the beauty of nature, it is something that, can draw you closer in your faith. Yeah. At Love Your Motherboard, we saw something missing in skate and snow culture. Boards that reflect real values, creativity, and conviction. So we built them. Premium skateboards and snowboards featuring original Catholic-inspired art and craftsmanship made right here in the USA. Whether you're carving streets or powder, ride with intention, purpose, and a message of faith. Motherboards, built for believers. So you are going to be a sophomore next year, and you're joining the peer ministry team. So how do you plan to assist the campus ministry office and evangelize the Catholic faith? Like, what is your plan going into peer ministry?
So my plan would basically be to kind of level up one level from what I did this year. So,
and what's that? What'd you do this year?
Yeah. So the first thing I'm going to start off is like, everyone in the peer ministry team has like really like motivated me and inspired me and my also freshman friends to like be in the PMT because they're so amazing. Like Ben, Sophia Magliocco, shout out to Sophia Magliocco, Benedetto Galuzzo, and everyone else who like makes it great. But I would say Lectio Divina is one of the things that really I started in my journey. I mean, Lectio Divina is basically, I don't really know how to explain it, but it's kind of like a prayer that the priests use to kind of write their sermon.
Right.
Because like, it's just reading the gospel a couple times, pausing, reading the gospel again, and just really reflecting on the words, what stands out to them.
Yeah.
And when I first did that, it was a little awkward because it was just like a bunch of people like, in a circle and just like being quiet for 5 minutes. And that's kind of uncomfortable, but, that really allowed me to grow. So as of recently, Ben has been allowing me to like sometimes read the gospel, and then lead in Lectio Divina. So one thing I want to is like really like emphasize like being in Lectio Divina, I find is really important. The Bible studies are amazing. There's a Bible study on Monday. I know there's a Bible study today at 7. There's another one at tomorrow, which is like the most popular one. So just those specific experiences like are things that I really want to build upon, grow. I want to spread the word to people that these events are really like great for your spiritual life, especially when you're with people who allow you to grow and don't drag you down, but they want you to do the best. They want you to grow in spirit, mind, and even body. So it's just great stuff.
Right. And I think the peer ministry team has a great connection with anybody, all walks of faith. And, they have a significant influence. We've had several members of the peer ministry team on this show, and they talk about their experiences with others and, how they are able to grow in the other person's faith and grow in their own faith. So I think that's amazing for you next year. And I think you have a solid foundation so far. You're a big sports fan, baseball. Yeah. You're a New York Mets fan.
Yes.
How much faith does it take to support a team like that? Because I'm a Yankees fan, and I feel bad for you guys, the Mets.
Well, thank you for feeling bad because they're currently on a 7-game losing streak.
I know.
And it is. So let me tell you, the last championship was 1986. My dad was a teenager.
Yeah.
And now he's in his 50s. So it's been some time. So, going to a school, elementary school, a lot of especially young boys, you talk about sports.
Yeah.
And it could be tempting to jump on the bandwagon, being I guess like sometimes a Yankee fan, or for football, like the Patriots were so good,
right?
Or like the Lakers too. But it takes a lot of faith, and it's funny how I'm talking about this, but I was thinking about this, I think like a year ago, like being a Mets fan actually like helped me grow in my faith.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, like, because like we believe one day we're going to win it.
Yeah.
But like every year is so unpredictable, and it tests your faith. Like last year, 2025, started off the season like best team in baseball, right? And then the second half of the season, it just like collapsed. And then the last game of the season, all they have to do is beat the Miami Marlins. They're such a bad team, and they can't even do that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's frustrating. And then 2024, they started off the season terrible, and they picked it up and then made the playoffs, made the playoffs on the last game, last day, like of this regular season on a doubleheader.
Yeah.
So like that's unpredictable, and it takes so much faith, and honestly, yeah, it's kind of like you gotta like believe in what you can't see, because they're building a good program, they have a good owner, they're investing money, but like right now, 7-game losing streak, like a lot of us fans are just disappointed, and a lot of them, I just say like hopeless, but like you can't be like that. But it taught me a lot of faith.
I think it's amazing that you could take that and compare it and relate it to your Catholic faith, because a lot of people think it's separate, but there's a lot of lessons that could come out of it, especially with the Mets, it seems like. But I wish you guys a good season.
Yo, thank you.
Okay, because I'm from New York and I root for New York,
yeah.
but
Yeah, same here.
I'm rooting for you guys.
Same.
Or, hoping that you guys do well.
Yeah.
Okay. So you attended the March for Life this past March in Hartford. So what was it like attending that?
It was one of the greatest experiences of my life.
Really?
This one and the March for Life that I went to in DC with members of PMT.
You did that this year too?
Yeah.
Went to DC?
Yeah. I went to DC and the Hartford March for Life. And let me tell you, being in a march with people who are in it to win it, nuns, a bunch of priests, a bunch of people like from a Catholic faith or a Christian faith that just love God and want to fight for those who can't fight for themselves. It's so powerful to be with people like that. It's such, from that experience, I recommend everybody at least going to that a few times. If you can't every year, go, because it changed my life. I felt so much grace coming from that, and it was such a beautiful time. I mean, just wow. Just thinking about it is just crazy.
I'm so happy that was such a good experience for you. Did you experience any pushback while there? Were there anyone protesting the other side?
This is gonna be kind of funny.
Okay.
It's kind of like a joke that I'm actually saying to a couple of my friends. Not a joke, but something that maybe I kind of regret doing, but it happened at the Hartford March for Life. So basically, there was a man who had a couple of signs, that I felt were very obnoxious.
Yeah.
And I just told the guy, you just find Jesus, man. And the dude was like getting aggressive, and he was like coming to my face and like trying to fight, until like my boy Benedetto, like a great senior, like strong, buff, great guy, like gets in front of him and defends me. And like at that moment in time, like I was kind of scared, but it just showed me like not everyone's on our side.
Right.
And that we are going to like encounter pushback, but for future, maybe I won't be so confrontative. Like I think I learned my lesson, because I didn't want to put anyone in like PMT in danger, which I kind of did. So I kind of regret that. But I mean, I did experience pushback, but I think it's just important for us to keep marching, because we know we're on the right side, and as long as we keep focused and do what we're there to do, like I think that's all we can do.
And there's strength in numbers. That's it. And how was it a big event in DC? I know it always attracts a large crowd.
It was huge.
Really?
Like it was so many people.
Yeah. How far apart was it between the one in DC and the one in Connecticut? Like dates? A week apart?
So I think the March for Life, I think it was in January, February.
Oh, okay.
I think it was in the beginning of the year.
Gotcha.
And then this was, I believe last month.
Okay.
Yeah. So kind of like a month and a half.
Are you going to go back next year?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. And I can't wait to go, and I can't wait to bring more people and make some more memories. Yeah.
That's great.
It was great.
So our last question that we ask everyone that comes on this show is, how will you continue to move your faith forward?
So I think I just got to take it day by day. I think that I sometimes complicate things. I say, I got to focus on 5 years from now. I got to focus on next month. But I really think that faith is something that is unique for everybody, and it can be tough. But in my personal experience, like in what I'm doing in life now, is like, just take it day by day. I'm going to focus on taking things day by day, hour by hour, see where I'm at, in moments of weakness, turn to the Lord. You know, when I make mistakes, get back up and just take it like day by day, not try to like do too much. Know that God loves us. He'll take care of us. And as long as we put our faith, trust, and back it up with works, you know, we'll be fine. And just what I would say is just take it. I'm going to take it day by day, man.
Day by day. That's a great mentality.
Day by day.
Well, Cayden, it sounds like you have a lot of exciting things coming up and you're very excited about it. So I wish you the best and thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah. And that wraps up this episode of Faith Forward. I want to thank Alex and Matt in the back. It's just Alex this week. One-man show. But he's doing a great job. And Cayden was even thanking him too.
Yeah.
But that wraps up this episode and we'll see you next time. God bless.
All right.